Using the latest creative tools inside of Adobe Aero, I created 4 immersive augmented reality riddles where you explore an AR landscape while learning about your brain. Welcome to part 3 of this 4-part tutorial series where I break down the key components to my brain explorations. In this tutorial, I will show you how to import audio, how to create proximity triggers with sound, and finally, I will break down how I animated the title dynamically all inside of Aero. Let's get started. Alright, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can add an audio bit to any of your Adobe Aero experiences. Here's a preview of what we're going to do. Watch as the text comes in here.
Tap the boxes to reveal a riddle and learn more about your brain.
Pretty neat, right? So I'm going to show us how we can make it so that when we tap on this box here,
What is the center of gravity?
we get this effect. We get the audio to play. So I'm going to delete the audio and start from scratch. I'm going to hit the edit button in the top left corner and select on the cube or the plastic box. We're going to click on the behaviors tab, and we already have a ton of behaviors, but I'm just going to scroll to the one that says tap, and it goes to an arrow towards the word show, and just beneath the word show you see the plus sign. If you click on the plus sign, we can have multiple triggers happen at once. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the play audio trigger. All right, but we have to tell it what audio to play. So I'm going to click on the little folder icon and navigate to my Creative Cloud. Adobe Aero comes with some amazing audio assets already, so you can also use those if you don't have access to your own. But I have some that I've already made, and I put them in my Creative Cloud account. So I'm just going to click on here, click on Creative Cloud. We're going to navigate to Adobe Aero. We're going to go to the Brain Experiences here, under Experience 3, Audio. And I want to use the what is the center of gravity audio, and hit open. Awesome, so we get a couple of options. Ambient sound makes stuff really loud and stays with your device, and non-ambient sound can kind of make sound like it's further away from your device. So I'm going to go with ambient sound. We're going to have it play once, so that's a play count of 1, and that sounds good. I'll hit the check mark to go. So again, just to review, it says tap, show, and play audio. So if we did everything correct, we should be able to tap on this box and audio should play this time. So let's do it.
What is the center of gravity?
That's pretty cool.
What is the center of gravity?
What do you guys think? Isn't that amazing?
What is the center of gravity?
With a single tap, we're able to trigger an audio experience to make our instructions that much easier to understand. Okay, another thing you might want to do is a proximity trigger, something that happens based off of you getting close. Now what I want to do is this. So I made it so I actually hid the clue, but I make it so that if you get close to the clue, it makes a sound. So I could be all the way over here. If I walk around, I'm not even looking. If I get close to the clue, I hear a sound. So I'm going to show you how we can add what's called a proximity trigger so that you can have sounds be triggered based off of getting close to their proximity. Let's get started. What we're going to do is create a proximity trigger whenever we get close to this tree here. What we got to do is click on it and go to the behaviors tab. And I have a ton of different behaviors here, but we're going to ignore all of that. We're going to add a brand new trigger, and we're going to do this on an enter proximity. Now you see that at the bottom here. This is a proximity trigger. If you tap on that enter proximity, you can give it a distance. Since proximity is measured in meters, the slider is very sensitive. So I just chose something like 0.1 meters. And if we go to the action, I can choose it and go to play an audio. And there we have it. Now I have a bunch of audio clips that I've been using in the experience so far. So if I just show you, this kind of keeps a working memory of past audio that I've been using. So I'm going to make a beep zap fun 01 be triggered when we get 0.1 meters away. I'm going to leave everything the same here, have it play once, and hit the check mark. So if we did everything correctly, watch what happens when we get close to this tree. Look at that. I'm going to do it again. It makes a little chirp sound when you get close to that tree. And that's a nice way to add a proximity trigger inside of Adobe Aero. All right, the third and final thing we're going to show you how to do today is how to add multiple triggers for dynamic animations, more movement. Take a look at the title. See how it first appears, it spins, it bounces, it waits, and then it moves back.
Tap the boxes to reveal a riddle.
I'm going to do it again. Watch the title. Spin, bounce, moves back.
Tap the box.
I'm going to show you how we can combine a bunch of triggers to do something like that with another object in our scene. So here's a fresh image. We're going to show you how we can add a bunch of dynamic animations to this PNG here. So what we can do is click on the Behaviors tab and add a trigger. And I'm going to have this one happen right at the start. First thing I want to do in the action is to tap on there, and I want it to just show itself. So choose Show. But I want to pay attention to the duration. If you hit play, it just shows immediately, but if we increase that duration time, it will show itself over a second or two. So I can also punch in numbers if I want to be more accurate. So I'm going to do 1.5 here. So it's going to take 1.5 seconds to show. Awesome. I also want it to spin, so I click on that plus sign and I can add a spin. We can preview the direction and the axis, so that's the y-axis spin. We can choose the reverse direction. And I'm going to use that same number. So we're going to do 1.5 for that spin duration. And now when we hit preview, take a look. It's now going to appear and spin. Amazing. Next, we're going to add a bounce to it. So I'm going to go back to that behaviors, click on that plus sign just beneath the spin tab here. And we're going to go to the bounce. And a bounce by default does this. Right? So it's kind of a lot of stuff going on. I want it to be a lot more subtle than that. So what we can do is go to that Y offset and drop that value down. I'll do something very small like 0.2, and then we can hit that little play button to preview it. It gets a nice little stretch there. And last thing I'm gonna do is change that duration so that it's also 1.2. Great. So if we look at this correctly, it's going to, at the very start of the animation, it's going to show, spin, and bounce this graphic. So let's hit preview and see it. Show, spin, bounce. Pretty nice. Let's do it again. Show, spin, bounce. Amazing. Next, I'm going to go to the behaviors, and I want something to happen after all of this. I'm going to add an action, and I'm going to choose the wait tag. And I want it to wait 1 second. Awesome. So right now it's going to start. It's going to show, spin, and bounce. It's going to wait for 1 second, and then we want to do one more action. So I'm going to hit that action button and choose the move. The move is really friendly. It just moves it in a direction that you choose. So right now, if I want it to move up or to the side, you just have to change the variable here. If I want to move it a few units to the side on the x-axis, I put 4 for the x-axis and hit that play button to preview it. It's really fast and really far, so I'm going to maybe slow down that duration. There we go. So this is going to work. So the moment of truth. What we should expect is that when I hit preview, at the start of the animation, it's going to show, spin, and bounce this image. Then it should wait for 1 second, and then afterwards it should move this image 4 units to the right on the x-axis. Let's go. Hit preview. It shows, it spins, it bounces, it waits 1 second, and it moves.
Tap the boxes to reveal a riddle and learn more about your brain.
Isn't that incredible? You can make some really dynamic animations inside of here just by stacking your triggers and timing them. Thank you so much for watching part 3 of 4 on the making of the immersive AR riddles. Adobe Aero continues to impress me with its friendly features, and guess what? We have one more tutorial in this mini-series. In part 4, I will show you how to use Adobe Substance Painter to paint assets for augmented reality. Then we're going to go into more triggers and even how to animate a flying character path or motion paths in general. See you there.